Coming up today, Korea's last MERS patient tests negative for the virus. This means the country will officially be declared MERS-free on October 29th. Korea's election watchdog is set to announce the number of election districts for next April's general elections. First, at least 13 people have been killed in a college shooting in the US state of Oregon. The suspected shooter has been shot dead by police. Stay tuned for these stories and more. Hello to our viewers around the world. It's 6 a.m. on Friday, October 2nd here in Seoul. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Broome. And we start with that welcome health news for the nation. The last patient in Korea diagnosed with Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS, has been released from hospital. The health ministry says the 35-year-old patient tested negative for the virus in 2 rounds of tests on Wednesday and Thursday. Korea will officially declare an end to the MERS outbreak on October 29th to follow WHO standards to give 28 days after the last person diagnosed shows a complete recovery. Since the country reported its first MERS case on May 20th, the virus infected 186 people, killing 36. Korea's National Election Commission's Districting Committee will announce the number of local election districts that will be up for grabs in next April's parliamentary elections. The committee says it will hold a general meeting this afternoon to announce its decision. What we know is that the number of districts will be at least 244, but no more than 249. The move comes as Korea's main rival parties remain at odds over the number of constituencies to be merged or scrapped. The committee plans to submit a final proposal to Parliament by October 13th. Now, under the plan, the number of districts in metropolitan areas is expected to increase. It will likely decrease for provincial regions due to a steady drop in the rural population. The head of Korea's ruling party, some of its lawmakers and the presidential office of Cheongwade are arguing over a proposed system to nominate political candidates for a preview of the expected power struggles leading up to next year's general elections. Our Park Ji-won reports.
Ruling Saenuri Party leader Kim Moo-sang cancelled all his appointments on Thursday, although he said to reporters that it was because his health conditions were not well. This decision was largely seen as Kim's protest against the presidential office of Cheongwade, opposing the recently proposed method on how to select running candidates for next year's general elections. Earlier this week, rebel party leaders agreed to nominate candidates through the so-called secured number open primary system, by which participants, both party members and non-party members, can vote for a candidate of their own choice through mobile phone polling, the number of which would be concealed during the voting process. Following Cheongwade expressing concern about the system on Wednesday, ruling party's senior lawmakers close to President Park also became vocal about their dissatisfaction with the system. With the leader of the ruling conservative bloc canceling all his duties for Thursday, political analysts question whether the Park administration's strong reform agendas, particularly in the labor sector, could earn enough parliamentary cooperation within its own ruling party camp. Amid such internal conflicts, polling firm Realmeter reported that ruling Saenuri Party's support rating decreased to 37.4%, near 4 percentage point drop from last week, while the main opposition NPAD saw a 1.5 percentage point increase to 27.7%. Park Ji-won, Arirang News.
Now, there has been another senseless shooting in the United States. 13 people have reportedly been killed and more than 20 injured in a shooting at a community college in the US state of Oregon. Officials say the suspected shooter is dead after exchanging gunfire with police. His identity has not been disclosed yet, however. The shooting took place at Umpqua Community College, which is in a town called Roseburg. This is about 3 100 kilometers south of Portland. Authorities have asked people to avoid the campus for now. The college is a two-year school with roughly 3,300 full-time students and 16,000 part-time students. Now, this is a very fluid situation, so details are still coming in, so we'll keep you updated throughout the day. Russia has carried out airstrikes against targets in Syria for a second straight day. Moscow's defense ministry says 4 Islamic State targets near the city of Idlib and the settlement of Hama were destroyed on Thursday. This is footage supplied by the Russian government of those airstrikes. Russia also admitted that it is targeting other rebel groups in Syria to help President Bashar al-Assad's armed forces in their weak spots. Now, the United States and Russia have been holding more talks in New York on how their militaries can operate in Syrian airspace without getting in each other's way. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says Moscow sees eye to eye with the US-led coalition on what terrorist groups should be targeted in Syria, but he says Moscow will not be working directly with Washington. Lavrov also said Russia has no plans to expand airstrikes to Iraq. Now, Korea has started checking Volkswagen cars suspected of using software to cheat emissions tests. Up to 120,000 cars are said to be affected in Korea. Kwon Jang-oh has the details.
The Ministry of Environment has started its investigation into whether Volkswagen diesel cars in Korea are also rigged with the emissions-dodging software that has shaken the global auto industry. Testing officially began on Thursday at the National Institute of Environmental Research. 7 models are under the microscope, including the Volkswagen Golf, Jetta, Beetle, and the Audi A3. The government said for the first 2 days, tests will be performed in a controlled lab environment, the same pre-scandal process that has been applied to pass emission tests. In this phase, inspectors analyze the cars while they're running on a treadmill and measure the emissions levels. Then next week, the cars will be tested on the streets of Incheon, where they'll be put through a number of driving conditions, such as going up and downhill, running with the air conditioner on and off, and moving at different speeds. Both tests are essential as the cheat software can cut emissions output in lab conditions by almost 40 times. The ministry said it expects to release the results in mid-November. If the tested vehicles are found to have the illegal software, the government will have the right to stop sales, order recalls, revoke their emissions classification, and impose fines. The ministry also said that once the investigation is over, authorities will begin inspecting diesel vehicles of other automakers, including domestic car manufacturers. But some industry experts say that more needs to be done to prevent such fraudulent practices.
We need to create an intermediary body to objectively check emissions test results. There needs to be this kind of process, which hasn't existed yet. We need to take this opportunity to create a system that people can trust.
Kwon Jang-oh, Arirang News.
Now, Korea has taken a page from the United States and introduced its own elongated version of Black Friday. But contrary to the government's expectations, some say a couple of weeks of frenzied shopping may not be the most effective way to boost consumption. Kim Min-ji reports.
Pushing and shoving to get their hands on bargains. This department store in downtown Seoul is busy with customers as autumn sales are in full swing. They came a bit early this year in line with the government's ambitious drive to boost domestic consumption in hopes that it will make up for the country's slowing exports and prop up growth. From supermarkets to even convenience stores, this is the biggest sales event Korea's ever held.
Thousands of retailers around the country will be slashing their prices during the sales event. But the question is, will it encourage greater spending?
I heard sales start today, so I came with my friend. I'm really happy because I got a bag that I wanted for a really cheap price.
I did manage to get some nice things, but I wish the discounts were greater, like 80 to 90%. That way people will spend more.
Critics on their part are questioning whether the sales event will bear fruit. Unlike the US or the UK, where retailers voluntarily slash prices to clear out their stocks, the Korean version of Black Friday was a government-led promotion. The event also overlaps with department stores' quarterly sales, which means discounts are not that eye-catching, and a majority of items on sale are carryover products. It also does not include designer-labeled brands or many manufactured goods. While it may be an opportunity for retailers to turn into black like the event's name, consumers also need to feel they're benefiting from it.
For consumers, the event doesn't feel any different from usual sales periods. In the US, people line up to buy goods. Consumers need to feel that urge and know that they are getting a bargain, for them to open up their wallets.
Experts say events like these need to be planned over a long period, and it shouldn't be a one-time event. They say the government should use this year's event as a learning page for more constructive promotions down the road that live up to the concept of Black Friday. Kim Min-ji, Arirang News.
Now to some cultural news. Performers from all over the world will take centre stage throughout the streets of Seoul over this weekend for this year's High Seoul Festival. For a preview of some of the highlights, here's our EG1.
Two men cling to a rotating hourglass and water rains down over their heads. They're performing in front of the former Seoul train station, and the hourglass and water symbolize the station's history and the countless people who have passed through the iconic landmark over the years. It's just one of the many productions that's part of this year's High Seoul Festival. The annual event seeks to recast the city through the arts by combining performances and public programs for visitors of all ages. This year's festival features 54 companies from around the world, presenting 180 productions under the title Let's Play on the Street.
Once in a while, it's nice to see our everyday spaces turn into a stage, where people can share their dreams and be as one. Then we can put aside all of our sadness, pain, happiness even, and come together and hang out.
The festival opener, a production called As the World Tipped by England's Wired Aerial Theatre, touches on environmental issues, including climate change and its aftermath.
This is the first time I've seen an aerial performance, and I find it very fascinating.
A parade, an exhibition, and an international street arts conference are also part of the event, which starts on Thursday and runs through Sunday.
Performances are being held at locations all around the heart of the capital as a way to encourage visitors to explore more about the city. Those who go may just discover something different about the city they thought they knew. EG1, Arirang News.
Now, film industry stars and movie fans from all four corners of the globe have gathered on Korea's southern coast for this year's Busan International Film Festival, or BIF as it's also known. It's an even grander event this time around as the festival marks its 20th anniversary. Our Kim Ji-yeon is there and she filed this report.
The southern port city of Busan brims with excitement as people try to catch a glimpse of one of their favorite stars. The Busan International Film Festival is regarded as one of the largest film festivals in Asia, featuring more than 300 films from 75 countries this year. The opening piece is Zubayan, about a young man who takes on a journey to answer questions of life's important values. What's surprising is that the festival's opening piece is a debut film by Indian director Moses Singh. The decision to have Zubayan as the opening piece clearly reflects the significance the festival has for promising Asian directors like Singh to gain international recognition.
The word Zuban means mouth, it means tongue, it means speech, it means language, and it also means promise, like I give you my word, I give you my Zuban. And in this film, it means all of those things because the film is about music, the film is about keeping secrets, the film is about music being the language that connects all of these people together, that connects Vicky's character to God, that connects Sarah's character to her brother.
Some of the special events taking place to commemorate the festival's 20th anniversary includes a special exhibition of the top 100 Asian movies, including Thai film The Cemetery of Splendor by award-winning director Apitapong Wirasetakul. The festival will close with Chinese director Larry Yang's Mountain Cry, based on the award-winning novel of the same title. Kim Ji-yeon, Arirang News, Busan.
Well, those are stories we have for you on this Friday morning here in Seoul. For more of the latest, don't forget to check out the website arirang.com. You can also download our smartphone application from the usual places. Just search for Arirang TV. Have a great day. Goodbye.